Alright, we're sorry for coming up late, a little late behind the schedule. Yes, don't worry, we'll fill the gap. Daybreak Show, Rock City 101.9 FM, here in the city of Abuja. We'll continue with the Citizens Forum. And this morning, yes, of course, topically, the Maina issue remains lingering. Well, he's been arrested, that's the report. He's been sacked, yes, that's the report. But looking backward, somebody posted this question and asked this question: is it only one Maina that we have?
Or the Maina with 9 lives
in the system? Well, I don't know. I don't have an answer. But if you've been following the issue and the way this issue developed, I'm sure since 2013, I remember clearly to be February 13. That was when the then first PRO, what's his name, Frank Mba, officially publicly declared Maina as a wanted person. That's 3 years, and it is also a fact that since that time he's been out of office. He's not been really well. I have not really worked in the civil service, but I know that the civil service rules will fault that. That's what they call a wall in the military term. So for 3 years not reporting to the office, it is definitely assumed that you have resigned, you are no longer interested in the job, and then you suddenly reappeared, either by fiat or by any powerful memo, or then there's something to look at in that letter and in that situation.
Do you know that yesterday when I was pondering about this whole Maina issue, I was wondering, and this question came to my mind: while Maina was away, was he being paid monthly? What about his salaries and allowances? Because a report came out yesterday that he even got paid his salary arrears.
I don't want us to, those are the ones that I established. The ones that I established. Yes, this is established that he's not been coming to work for 3 years. I don't know where that happens, will happen. No excuse, no information.
And you are not fired.
You were not fired, and suddenly a letter, that's another establishing, just came up asking that he should be retired. Obviously, this is an octopus matter. They'll say there are several hands involved. So, where are those hands? Or who has those hands? Where did they come from? What are they trying to hold? These are questions that must be answered. This is Nigeria of 2017. Well, we'll continue in this set. We'll speak with two different Nigerians, a lawyer and of course a politician, in actual fact, the national chairman of, is it a coalition of political parties in Nigeria. Let's take this break and try to establish contact with them via phone and get what they think after that. All right, yes, it's good to know that you are still there. This is Rock City 101.9 FM Daybreak Show, Citizens Forum. Well, we mentioned this earlier on as a teaser, the Maina issue. How many Maina do we have in the system? Is it just one? Are they many? Well, I think that is lightening the mood. This is a serious joke. But the best leading to that is what we really want to look at. How do we avoid it? How do we stand with a lot of people who say, okay, government was fired, they've arrested, they've sacked, and around, but will they stop the order? This is an issue that's been on for so long. If you want to put in emotion and sentiment on people who say, well, pensioners fund, and we have so many of them dying and crying every day. We are not blaming an individual. All these, except the ones that I've mentioned that are out as facts, he's been away for 3 years. There was a letter from the AGF asking that he should be reinstated. What he defended his position legally. So apart from that, every other case or cases against him have not been established apart from this one. So we are looking at the structure, our structure, and the fight against corruption. We have somebody online with us. Good morning. Good morning, Alhaji Lawal.
Good morning, how are you?
Oh, fine, thank you. Thanks for joining the Daybreak Show, Rock City 101.9 FM. Please, for my listeners, can you introduce yourself properly?
Sorry?
I want you to introduce yourself to my listeners.
My name is Honourable Muhammad Lawal Malado, the National Chairman of Accord Party.
Okay, I understand you are also the National Chairman of Conference of Political Parties?
Yes, Interparty Advisory Council.
Interparty, yes, IPAC, the Interparty,
IPAC, yes.
And you have also been a member of the House of Representatives.
Yes.
All right. Now, let me pick it up from that. Hello, Alhaji Lawal.
I am with you.
Okay, let me pick it up from your experience in the House of Representatives. So many issues have been raised about the need to fight all this menace in our society with a fresh constitution. And a lot of people have also blamed legislators, the National Assembly, for not standing side by side with the president and not standing rightly to fight this. From your experience in the House, what do you think is wrong?
No, I think there is a gap. There is no good communication between the National Assembly and the executive. And unless, until that gap is filled, before we can be having flow of information, you know. So I believe that gap is the problem.
Now, okay, that gap here. Let's look at the issue now. How it happened. 2013, that's the last time they saw Maina at work. And suddenly there's a letter asking him to resume, even though we'll be told he did not resume.
I didn't hear you well.
I said, let's go to the issue, the Maina issue. 2013 was the last time he went to the work. He went to work. The last time was 2013. Since then, he's not been seen in the office, and suddenly a letter appeared from the Attorney General's office asking him to resume. Well, we've been told he did not resume. Now, if you marry these two together, what will you say of our institution structure, the civil service now, in particular as an engine of growth in government?
You see, I always like us to be following due process in taking decisions or doing things. When Maina was sacked or he was suspended, according to the information given by the Attorney General of the Federation, there was a court order to reinstate him. And action was not taken. The file has been on his table, lying on his table since 2000, for 3 years. So until when he didn't hear anything from anybody, and he saw this file lying on his table, he now decided to act according to the court order. What we should do now is to go and investigate thoroughly and find out, number one, is it truly that there was a court order? If truly there is a court order, what gave the court the decision to reinstate Maina back? We have to follow due process. We have to be investigative and really find out what is on the ground. Maina is laying his claims. Attorney General is laying his claims, and other Nigerians are laying their claims. So let us go to the field. There are records. Let us go through the record. The record will speak for the party that is right and those that are not right. I think this fighting corruption is for all of us, not only government agencies. We have to come all out to be the supporters of this fight against corruption. We should not allow the presidency or the government alone in this fight. We have to join as full soldiers to make sure we support the idea of fighting corruption in Nigeria. I think it's a very good development that we're hearing this day. People are now passing their comments on what is happening in the government. So I think people are becoming aware. but we have to be told the reality. What really happened? What made Maina to come back? Is it true that there was any court order on laying on the table of the minister for 3 years? Then what gave the order, the court, to give that order? We have to go thoroughly. We shouldn't be, I don't think it is proper for us to be acting on hearsay. Let us go through the records. We have records.
Honorable. Hello?
I'm with you.
Yes, now the issue of a blame game has come up again. The presidency is passing the buck to the former administration of President Goodluck Jonathan, accusing the former government officials of sharing the loot of Maina, and that same camp is also placing the blame on the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. This blame game keeps going on and on. Is this not going to eventually push this issue of Maina and the alleged corruption crime to the background, whereby another distraction will come and this issue will be swept to the carpet instead of looking critically at the issues and tackling them?
You see, what I am saying is, I think the government should be hello?
Yes, we are with you. Go ahead.
Okay. I think the government should be serious with this fight against corruption. It doesn't matter who is involved. Whoever is found guilty should be prosecuted. There shouldn't be any witch hunting. Whoever, whether he belongs to this government or belongs to the other administration or former previous administration, whoever is found guilty in anything, that person should be dealt with according to the law of the land. That is the only way we can save and we can save our faith. And as true veterans fighting corruption. So talking of this man belongs to the government of the previous, this one belongs to the present government, I think doesn't arise. All we need is to have faith in the fight against corruption and to fight it with all our might to make sure that we follow due process in dealing with corrupt cases. Not to just take cases to court and allow them to be laying down there without taking further decisions or finalizing on issues.
Now, Lawal, you talked about lack of communication, effective communication between the two groups, the presidency and the assembly. And of course, I also referred to your experience in the House of Assembly, in the House of Representatives. Now, we've debated the power of the executive arm of government and then the inability of this power or the overbearing nature of this power on the civil service, which has almost completely been cancelled, eroded by this power. If the court ask that Maina should be reinstated, and the reason then was because it was not properly in the first instance suspended, there's a process laid down, civil service process to be followed. This will have been done by the Civil Service Commission or the establishment. We have so many people and so many governors who just by fear, or even just on radio, relieving civil servants who were duly employed of their position and offices. Sacks are announced first before the letters come from the governor or government, not going through the process. Who will rectify this? Is it by law or the civil servants themselves? How do we get this rectified, this act that I've mentioned?
You see, if we should be procedural, we have civil service rules. We have executive arm of government. We have legislature and the judiciary. If we are following rule of law, I think every issue is supposed to be dealt with at its level. Civil service, they have their own routine. There shouldn't be interference from any quarter. Their civil servants are mostly under the executive, you know. So I don't think there is any reason for legislators to be interfering with the day-to-day activities of the executive. They are only to be doing their function as oversight, you know, but they shouldn't be interfering with the day-to-day activities of civil servants. Where until where we have complaints which is supposed to be, taken to the legislature, that's when the person involved or the individual or the group of persons involved can write a petition to the executive, to the legislature. The legislature can do their oversight function, you know, and investigate and find out the reality about any allegation. But it's lack of following due process that is causing all this crisis for us. In my last case, Maina was suspended. Was his suspension done through due process? If it wasn't, maybe court had acted on, you know, the illegality of sending him on suspension, and then court now decided that he should be reinstated. But the executive failed to act on the court order until now. So these are the things that we have to investigate and find out where the faults come from. Is it from the executive or from the court itself? This issue is self-explanatory. Maina has spoken. The Attorney General has spoken. The civil servant, head of civil service has spoken. So to compare the notes and find out where is this fault coming from, we shouldn't just be criticizing, discussing issues without finding the true origin of the case. So I think we need to investigate and find out whether Maina is indicted. If he is truly indicted, what was the action taken by his Civil Service Commission, and whether the action taken was done in a prudent manner.
Now, let us agree that the action as explained by the AGF is right. The file has been there on the table. Court has said it should be reinstated. We have stories of other Nigerians who are in this position. In actual fact, I have a story of a police sergeant dismissed almost 15.
You see, my brother, we have a public complaint commission.
That's what I'm saying. There are some Nigerians. I even have a case of somebody whose situation has been placed on the floor of the House of Representatives, illegally dismissed by the Nigerian police. Court has said it should be reinstated, and nothing has been done for over 5 years. Is Maina not being favored? But there are so many other people who need.
I don't like favoritism. Whoever has case of similar case of Maina should be treated in the same way. Maina is not a special interest, not a special person. He's a Nigerian like anybody. So any other person that has a case like that of Maina, we should now use this one, you know, to bring up his case and treat him accordingly. I don't like people because they are highly placed or they have people in government to be treating their cases, you know, with a special interest. I want all Nigerians to enjoy, you know, this the same gesture that whenever anybody has problems, should be, should have a place to go.
Now,
in my next case, I don't support anybody being treated. I don't like anybody being treated with special interest.
All right. Now, as a politician, Alhaji Lawal, what is your interpretation of all this, and what the position you are holding as it has to do with the present cabinet of President Buhari and the war on corruption?
You see, President Buhari declared war against corruption. We Nigerians, as good citizens, supposed to be the veterans that will help in winning that war. He cannot fight alone. He cannot fight corruption alone. We have to come and help him to fight the corruption. And it's a very serious menace that if it is not checked properly, it can kill the progress of this country. So certainly the fight against corruption is a good and positive idea. But the way, if not properly checked, things are going, I think at the end of the day, the president would not be able to achieve that fight against corruption. So I am calling on all Nigerians.
Now, this is what I mean. This is what I mean, Alhaji. If it is true that Maina is being favored, and from stories we're hearing, is close to some people.
But from what I heard, I didn't hear it officially, but from what I heard, the president has acted on the issue of inspecting Maina. You know, he has called for thorough investigation in the case. So we should allow people that are concerned to go into this case properly and do thorough check and find out where the problem is coming from. And also, let us use this time to look at issues that have been laying down for a long time. Issues of sacking people, you know, without following due process, like the case you've mentioned. Let us look at all these issues and address them properly. There is a commission that is in charge of this. So the commission should come up with all the complaints that are before that commission to bring it to the knowledge, you know, of the government so that they can take necessary action. This should be like a wake-up call to the government that there are issues like that. Not only Maina, there are so many issues like that. I know there are so many issues like that because people have been complaining of being passed, you know,
wrongfully dismissed,
wrongfully passed, wrongfully, you know. So if we use this one now, we can revisit all the issues of wrongful taxing people, suspending people unnecessarily, and take the cases accordingly.
Now, quickly
I'm not interested.
Before we let you go, those who are saying that there is a cabal in the present administration seems to have jumped out by saying, yes, this is one of the evidence of what we are saying, that there are some government within the government of the present APC. What's your opinion?
Well, actually, I am not in government. You know, I am the chairman of a political party that is known to be a disciplined political party. And I know we observe rule of law in our political party. That is why we're having peace, you know. And that is why my party has been consistently winning elections in all the election years. So I am somebody that believes in honesty, you know, and I don't believe in this cabalism people are talking about. But all I know is, if really what we are hearing today is true, then it is very unfortunate. But if it is not true, the government should quickly sit up and investigate thoroughly and find out what are the reasons behind insisting Maina without following due process, if at all the due process is not followed. But if due process is followed, then they should come out and explain to the public these are the reasons why Maina was inspected. And they should also make it to the public that whoever is having case or being wrongfully dismissed or removed from his working place should please come up to report his issues or matter, or should go to court. And the government should also ensure people that whoever goes to court and gets court order, government will make sure that that court order is respected. And it is only when we respect court orders that you know, we can be having peaceful administration. Whoever goes to court, because that is the last place, I mean, that is last hope for common man. Whenever injustice is done onto you, you go to court and seek redress. So I believe court should be the last option for anybody that has similar case.
All right, thank you.
I am calling on the government to sit up and investigate thoroughly, most especially this minor issue, to find out, is it true that there was a court order? If it is true there was a court order, what really gave the court, what informed court to give that order? We should follow due process and investigate thoroughly. Maybe there are people behind minor cases that they don't want these issues to be made open. So we have to we should forget about it. We should put aside this cabal issue. Let us work on how to fight corruption.
All right, thank you, Alhaji Lawal. We have to let you go at this point. We appreciate you for joining us all the way from Abuja, I suppose, this morning. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, that's the voice of Honourable Muhammad Lawal, is the national chairman of Accord Party and the national chairman Inter-Party Advisory Council, speaking on the Maina issue. We'll take the break to allow the 10 o'clock news to come. After that, yes, we'll throw open the lines for you for all your thoughts. Don't go anywhere. Yes, sir, you are welcome back. What interesting lyrics coming. One day the bushmeats go catch the under. I don't know how that will them Paddy now my people sabi. That's coming from Sansotan, featuring Two-Face and W4. You're welcome back. Daybreak Show, Rock City 101.9 FM. Here in the city of Abeokuta. Yesterday on, we spoke with Alhaji Muhammad Lawal. Alhaji Muhammad Lawal is the national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council. He's also the chairman of the Accord Party, one of Nigeria's many registered political parties. Well, he's calling on the government to come out, tell Nigerians the details of what happened, even though he wants us to be careful and cautious, since some legal issues are involved, at least from the writing and reports we've been hearing. He also wants simply procedures, civil service rule to be followed in all cases. If you do that, let everybody knows its level, the demarcation, and things will work all well. And he also said that it should not be only Maina that should be favored if the AGF suddenly discovered that Maina's file has been lying there for so long without being treated. There are so many Nigerians in the class of Maina who have been wrongly dismissed. Quickly, we have online Deputy National Vice President of the Nigerian Bar Association, Monday Ubani. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. Good morning. How are you today?
Oh, we thank God. Sorry, we have to pull you out of that seminar. We are sorry, but quickly, let's start from this way. Well, legal issues are involved. So far from the story to tell about the Maina case, the AGF says is acting on the court order asking that Maina should be reinstated 3 years ago. Well, so should that just be the end of the story?
No, that is not the end of the story. Because we are in a government that is actually promised Nigerians that they will fight corruption. And every second, every opportunity, they always move to Nigerians. They are indeed fighting corruption. In the case of Maina, Maina has been declared wanted by EFCC over 3 years ago. And Maina was invited by the Senate concerning the allegation against him to appear before the Senate. And what he did was that he went to court and never appeared before the Senate. And the next thing that Nigerians heard is that Maina has even absconded from work, official work, and without any communication to his employers. So what the civil service at that point did was to dismiss him for absconding without any proper authorization. And so it would be wrong for anyone through issue of legal advice to now reinstate Maina without clearing all these things I've mentioned. One, this man was invited by the Senate to come and answer some questions concerning his activities with the pension fund. Maina was also wanted by EFCC to come and make explanation concerning some of the allegations against him. And he has not in any way appeared before the Senate. Another has gone to the EFCC to clear himself. And so for somebody now to probably need his legal advice on the processes of the court, in which probably there was some pronouncement and is taken illegally, is something that is that is very surprising and shocking. And that's why people raise their eyebrows, and then the government had to come to their senses and now probably asking to go. I think it's clearly a mess. The government put itself into this mess, that we found ourselves.
Lawyer Ubani, I recall some times ago you were on this same program and same station, and you talked about the anti-corruption war being fought by the Buhari administration, and you mentioned then that Mr. President should reshuffle his cabinet and sack those that should go. You actually make mention of the fact that Attorney General of the Federation should be one of those people. Do you still maintain that position, especially going by the fact that Abubakar Malami is in the center for this whole saga of Maina?
I think I've said it before that the president has to take a look once again at the people he has appointed to help him realize his promises he made to Nigerians, whether they are all working in the same spirit and in tandem to achieve that purpose and that objective. And if he finds out that those guys are working across purposes with his own objective of ensuring that we have a trained society, I think the best thing for him to do is to kick them out of his government. I mean, this is an embarrassment that is too many. There are so many embarrassments that this government has suffered as a result of some level of ineptitude by some of the people we appointed to actualize his objective. And it would be wrong for him to return such people still in his cabinet. So my take in all this is that, look, if you are my employee or I have appointed into government and I have actually defined what my objectives are, and you are working across purposes with my objectives, and my best is to kick you out of the government. But I don't know why President Buhari is so slow in so many things concerning this administration, especially when there are issues for him to tackle. Tabachia's report that the Vice President has submitted up to now has not been dealt with. There are so many allegations against people that are in government. The IG, Nisau's allegation against the IG. I have not seen government take any action. Other government is charging the whistleblower to court. These are scandals too many for this administration. And I think that we have to take a critical look at those people he has appointed, whether they are working across the position with him or they are working in tandem with the actualization of his objectives for Nigerians. So it's left for him. But the time is coming for Nigerians to judge whether he has actually fulfilled all the promises he made to them.
Mr. Ubani, the court's judgment was premised on the fact that Maina was wrongfully dismissed. And some Nigerians have said, well, wait a minute, this is a common thing. So many of us have seen situations where government will go on air to announce the dismissal of somebody. Government will just by word of mouth relieve some people of their post even before letters are issued, and nothing has happened to that. Such persons have gone and they are gone. And if you also go to the National Assembly, if you go to the public committee, there are so many Nigerians who are in quote now Maina's shoes in terms of wrongfully being dismissed by their employers, and nothing has happened to them. Now, what does that tell you, or what's your interpretation when it has to do with the powers of the executive arm and the encroachment of the executive arm within the civil service or in the civil service?
Well, my take is that we're in democracy and everyone has to bow down to the supremacy of the law. If things are not done in accordance with the law, the state arm of government, and that is the judiciary, will come in to make a pronouncement as to the correctness or the wrongness of a decision by any arm of government. So if anyone feels that he has not been well treated, or there has been a breach or an impeachment of the law, we have the right to go to court and then get judgment. Now, I don't know, who Maina sued in that case, and that there was a defense he made. Now, what applies to a person who has gone from duty without any excuse, without lawful excuse? If you go out of a duty of official duty, and then you don't give any explanation as to where you are, and they have sought for you and you are nowhere to be found, and all that, what would the civil service? What is the applicable civil service rules? So if you comply with those rules and all that, and can the court pronounce that that act illegal. So I don't know actually what transpired. I don't know there was an existing court case and Maina had and where Brady was reinstated by the court. I'm not aware of that. But the point I am trying to emphasize is that Maina has a criminal case to answer, and up to now he has not appeared before EFCC to give explanation as to some of the allegations that were levied against him. Maina was also invited by the Senate, the 8th Assembly or the 7th Assembly to appear, and he did not. And he took off and he went another. So I think that should have made the government to be very careful in reinstating Maina when there are outstanding issues concerning him. Bringing him back, through the back door and without, the knowledge of Nigerians of the man that is wanted by EFCC. So I even heard at that time there was an Interpol involvement to declare him wanted internationally and to extradite him to Nigeria. And so with such a person who has not cleared himself, and then you are bringing him back through the back door into the government and then giving him security details to protect him and guide him and all that actually does not speak well of a government that is fighting corruption. So that's where I am. I don't know of any existing court order he has in his favor and all that, but whatever it is, I believe in the rule of law. I also believe in the supremacy of law. So if he has a court order, let us know who defended it and what was the defense of the defendant concerning his dismissal of his dismissal by the civil service. So let's get all the whole facts. As I speak to you now, I don't have full facts concerning the court judgment. But the only thing I'm aware of is that EFCC declaring wanted, and I have never appeared before EFCC to answer, those allegations that were levied against him. And even the Senate invited him. He never appeared before the Senate. So to me, the government, that is fighting corruption will actually be a bit cautious in bringing him back the manner they did.
All right, Lawyer Ubani, is it possible for all this to have happened from the office of the Minister of Justice to the Minister of Interior to the head of the head of service of the Federation, getting Maina reinstated or recalled, even to the level of promoting him, and Mr. President would not be aware? Now, is that even possible? If it is, if you were to be in the position to advise Mr. President on this issue of Maina, what would you be advising him as regards how to handle this issue? If I'm
advising the President over this issue, if it is actually true that Maina was reinstated behind the President without the knowledge of the President, then the President should know who his enemies are in this government. And the best thing for him to do is to make sure that those people exist, because they don't mean well for him. They have actually rubbish his integrity and reputation, because they know what he stands for. They know what Nigerians believe in for. So if this man came in without his knowledge, then the President should be able to take a drastic action concerning those people that did this behind him. And that would be my advice. But if the President knows about this and he authorized the recall of Maina into public service, then I tell you that this is actually a minus on his integrity, because he knows that Maina was wanted by EFCC and he has not appeared before EFCC to declare himself. So why would the President now bring back Maina into recalling into the civil service, knowing fully well that there is a criminal allegation against him? So if the President was aware, then the President has to actually apologize to Nigerians and he has made a very grave error, has committed a very grave error that is actually a minus on his integrity. But if it was done behind him by his employees, those people that he has appointed into government, I think he should be able to actually act fast and get them out of the system, because they don't mean well for him.
The fact that a letter was written by the AGF, and from the letter based on events in the court, was why Maina was asked to resume, has not been denied, Mr. Ubani. And some people have said that appears that Maina is being favored. Do you also think so?
That Maina is being what?
Favored.
Is being
favored by some people in the government.
Okay, is being favored?
Yes.
That would be, I won't be able to speak on that, whether he was favored or not favored. But the point is that the way and manner, of writing a legal opinion by the Attorney General, clearing him and bringing him back, to me, is clearly suspicious. But that is all I will say. But whether he's favored or not, I don't know.
Can this also be said, Ubani, to be a confirmation from the thoughts of the people, submission of some people, that we have cabals in this government?
That is becoming clearer. If the president is not aware that how Maina was recalled, then that means that cabal is the one running the government. They are taking maybe under advantage of the president's to run the government, and then the allegation that there is a cabal that is running this government, to the detriment of the central objective of this government, it will become clear. It's becoming clearer by the day. If the president was not aware of the recall of Maina, to me, it confirms the fact that the cabal is running this government. That is what I want to say.
All right, thank you very much, Lawyer Oyekachi Ubani, this morning. We appreciate you for stepping out of your meeting to join us. All right. You heard him there. That's a Lawyer Monday Ubani, Deputy National President of the NBA. That's the Nigerian Bar Association. National Vice President, sorry, of the NBA, National Nigerian Bar Association. Well, it's getting clearer. I think it started with whispers, with little echoes talking about cabal in the government. According to Lawyer Oyekachi Ubani, I think it's now very obvious and glaring that indeed there are some people, there is a government
within the government. And what is also said, Tobi, is also that even the so-called legal advice coming from the ATF shouldn't even on its own cannot be said to be correct, as in the merit there. There's no merit. That letter should not have been written. Truly, like I said, I reminded us, I know that very well. And for those who've been following, we've also discussed this when the issue was on and hot. February 2013, Frank Uba, the first police spokesperson, came out to tell Nigerians that Maina has been declared wanted. For that alone, when the employer assists him, they should have asked him to go and clear his name. All right, those are the opinions you've listened to. Muhammad Lawal of Daybreak Interparty Advisory Council and the Deputy Vice President in the NBA Nigerian Bar Association, Monday Ubani. Let's get your own opinion on this issue. 0809868734 and 0909146967.
And you can also reach us. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Tobi. Good morning, Dele.
Morning.
My name is Dr. Nkom. Dele, I've listened to people you interviewed, and as I normally say, I will cast my lot on Lawal. Lawal was not hypertensive. He talked like a nationalist. He said Buhari wants to fight corruption. Let us help him fight. Ubani talks as if, okay, you want to fight corruption now? Let us watch what he's going to do. Has he won or not? As if it's not a national issue. And as I also said earlier yesterday, we are going to allow emotions to declare what is happening. At the end of the day, where we are going, we don't know what happens. But this one is right, this one is wrong. I'm not sure of what is happening. Why don't we wait until we are sure what is going on? We don't know the facts. What we're talking of is just because we want to name someone, or someone might not be, yes, the person is fighting corruption. He's not fighting, Maina is supposed to be jailed. He's supposed to be shot. We have not gotten the facts yet. And it's unfolding. And I'm sure at the end of the day, we can look at Chiko's speech.
Dr. Nkom,
yes.
Let me ask you this question. Don't you think from the experience Nigerians have had, past events where cases similar and high profile like this will begin, and they'll tell you, we'll unfold it, and it will never see the end of the day? There are so many cases like that I can continue to count on, and this has made Nigerians never to trust or not to trust those who say that again.
Let me answer this question this way, that I have a friend, a very senior civil servant, who doesn't believe that the Buhari we are seeing is the same Buhari we voted in. There is a Sudanese who is there, and that the whole this are talking about Buhari is no more. Buhari has died. It's a Sudanese who is on this country. Should I believe that person if he talks? We have so many fake news in this country that we don't even know again. The problem is that we don't even know the facts, the law. We come out from our window and say because we said it is true. We don't have the facts. Something has swept under the carpet. What was swept under the carpet? What are the facts of the case? Because he didn't feel what it was swept under the carpet. No, Dele, I don't believe it. Let us allow rule of law to continue. That is the only way we can get to the end of it. Not all these rabble rousing. We won't be there. We are going to forget the real main issue. That is my view. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hello, we have you next. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Let us just face the reality. When Buhari and the APC was to come to power, they say they will fight corruption. But I will tell you, as a Nigerian, one has to analyze the promise against the reality on ground. Buhari was coming in as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He's not going to run a private organization to fight corruption. In essence, you have to use the machinery of government as provided for the Constitution to fight corruption. They won't recruit new police officers, new civil servants, they won't bring people from the north to fight corruption. So that is the limitation of that promise from the beginning. Now, the man, the Maina of a man, is a civil servant. His appointment, tenure of office, discipline is controlled by the Federal Civil Service Commission, which is a statutory body created by the Constitution for the federal government. So, if it comes to discipline, these are the people who will suspend or dismiss him, not necessarily the president, please. Maina was just a director, not a permanent secretary, nor head of the civil service organization in which the president has a direct authority. So when people are just talking about how the man dismiss him, we are all playing to the gallery. We are not referring to them. I had someone said that he has a criminal allegation in his neck. That is not correct. The fact that he was invited by the EFCC does not mean that he has a criminal allegation pending against him. He has to be charged to court. That is the language of the law. So all these people are just said, we have to look deep into the part of this case before we start making comments. Thank you.
All right, that's interesting. That he's a lawyer. Adetunji Anobao just told us.
Who's on the line, please?
This is Incantation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Yeah. Yes. I think we have to answer on that. Is it possible that Mr. Buhari will not know that Maina was employed? I don't think it's already know. I think all those companies believe that president should be coming in. It's not for the integrity or where we have played the president. I think it's something that all this matters. It has been dealt with at the ministerial level. But the question is, who will have the audacity to bring in someone, a fugitive? They very well know that this president is the one is the president. And I don't know that this president is really a good person. Who has that audacity? That's what the question. So I think maybe it's moving to this people of Qatar or Qatar. So I think the president should let us know that yes, there's no need to about that. He's going to that. That's what it is. But we have to look at somebody who has somebody no. What really is not the president's work. However, the question is who has that audacity to bring men up that when you have to the SEC and Senate. That's just the question. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Yinka.
Calls us quickly to justice to the tweets and messages. At Samul 63 tweeted this: how can Buhari be separated from his government? He appointed his loyalists to work with him and they are working. Shame. Some people are still defending Buhari till this moment with all the level of corruption against his government. It is sad. Please, Mr. Dele, what can those that have been dismissed illegally do, please? All right, when you say dismissed illegally, you would crave more clarifications as regards your dismissed illegally claim. This one says this Maina's case is very simple, really. Did President Buhari know of Maina's recall? If yes, his anti-corruption war is nothing but a sham. All right, Yemi Da Vinci once again. If President Buhari didn't know about Maina's recall, then it means he's not in charge of the government, and we are in soup. Which type of soup, Yemi Da Vinci? Is it a goosey? All right, this is a message from Abdulrasheed Okela. To me, there are more to this issue of this Maina. A lot of bombshell being revealed and being revealed more. Looted funds of the past PDP government led by GEJ. Now we will begin to know if stealing is corruption or not. The Zani Gate is still there, Stella Odua Gate, Dasuki Gate, among others. Court invited GEJ on Olisamitu's case. God will never forgive those that looted and destroyed this great country called Nigeria. God bless Nigeria, myself and Rock City FM. That's Abdulrasheed Okela. Akimiola says Maina's claim that Buhari's government invited him to work for them. Why are we now defending Buhari? Is he not the head of that government? If he claimed to be innocent, it means that he's not in charge. Let him quit. Alright, this one says, it is sad to hear those people that crucified Jonathan because of Dizani and Dasuki now defending Buhari. If Buhari is innocent, in Maina's case, Jonathan too is innocent. I carry your last sentence that again. We are not practicing democracy here in Nigeria, but party government. Nigeria's solution is revolution. Pius from Chaje. We hope that that's talking about mind and attitudinal revolution. IK from E4 says we are in a very big bondage in this country, and no amount of prayer can take us out of the bondage unless we restructure our mind first, as OBJ has said. What kind of corruption are they fighting? Who is not corrupt? Can fighting corruption put a food on the table of helpless Nigerians? My answer is no. Then let PMB focus on what will put food on the table of common man, because the youth are hungry. IK from E4 sent in that message. Alright, let's quickly go back to the calls. We await more of your shortcut messages. 32120 is the number. Hello, who's on the line?
Hello, good morning, Tobi. Good morning, Dele.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Honourable Muhammad Lawal Malado. I'm calling from the People's Parliament in Africa. As far as I'm concerned, I just want us to believe that Maina's case is something that we need to really look into. I mean, I was at the DLK event center last week where a lot of pensioners, all these aged people were brought. It was going to be the first time they could even be given a kind of a condition environment, but you see the way these people are subjected to a lot of hardship or whatever. I mean, it's quite unfortunate. And how can somebody sit down and start stealing elderly people's money? I mean, people that are even closer to their graves. It's quite unfortunate. So they really need to go into it very well. The boy needs to be very careful. He needs to prove to the whole world that, you know, he still believes in it and the corruption that he's doing, and make sure that none of everybody that goes involved in this is gone unpunished. We only have a pleasant day. God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
God bless you too.
Okay, we'll move on. Let's take your call. Hello. 08098687344. Yes, morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
Mr. Dele.
Good morning.
My name is Big Daddy.
Yes, Emeka, we can hear you.
Yeah. I want to go directly to Mr. Dele. I want to ask him, there was one daddy that used to call in our station, and I forgot his name. I used to say from A to Z, same.
Yes, what about him?
I want to remember his name.
Maybe just go on. I can't also immediately.
Okay, you see, let me let you understand. Where are we going here? The people that we go for, look at what happened. 3 years to this time. Is it too long to forget that that is the man that they are looking for? They are for fire and other things. Thank God today to something that we do. There are other people that is there we don't know. And now the man can be set free tomorrow. May God help Nigeria. Have a nice day.
Alright, have a nice day too. Thank you.
Okay, you're talking about Alaji Ayanuga, Alaji Power.
Okay.
Okay. Messages, call.
Alright, let's wrap it up with messages.
We have somebody. Let's pick this one.
Okay.
Hello. Yes, good morning.
It's Oladele calling from Abel.
Alright, Oladele, you'll be the last caller for the day.
Thank you very much.
It's a pity. It seems EFB, President Buhari, is not in charge of this government. So it seems a lot of stories here and there that the president will not know. I'm sorry to say, with due respect to him, I will never vote for the president that is not there when expected. Thank you very much.
Okay, messages should go Twitter.
All right, this is a tweet from Yemi Da Vinci once again. Personally, I think there's an unelected cabal ruling, else we will not have a civil servant being protected by the ESS and the police. The Barrister Lawal and Ayodo issue is also still there. The cabal is also the one who didn't allow Ibe Kachiko to see Buhari. I think that President Buhari is now a prisoner in Aso Rock who is told who to see and what to do. That's my belief until proven otherwise. If President Buhari is the anti-corruption man Nigerians voted for, he will sack the AGF, the interior minister, and the head of service now. It is a shame that Nigerians who railed against Jonathan's administration handling of Stella Odua are giving excuses for Buhari. Samuel63 tweeted this: the woman was dismissed without giving an opportunity to appear before any panel to defend herself. Okay, I think Samuel is talking about the Zani Madrike. We'll wrap it up with this shortcut messages. This one says, we have criminal matters and civil matters in our constitution. If you are charged with fraud or mismanagement of public fund case, it is a criminal offense. Samson sent in that message. All right, we'll just add this Facebook comments to it. It's coming from Surakat Abdulhamid Ayodo. It is high time the president come out to tell Nigerians that he is not sectional in his anti-corruption fight. With the issue of Maina, only God knows how many civil servants or political office holders collecting money without doing anything. Sincerity of purpose is key so that the trust of Nigerians repose in the presidency won't be jeopardized. The issue of Barrister Lawal and is still pending. The president has not come out to tell Nigerians whether the men are guilty or not. Now the president is making us to believe what the PDP said, that his anti-corruption war is sectional and political. Only God will save this nation from our so-called leaders. Alright, that's the much we can take this morning. Thank you so much for keeping faith with us, and of course for tuning in ever since the show started at 7 a.m. Tomorrow is the open day edition of the show. It starts also as early as 7 a.m. I am Tobi Joseph.
And I am Dele Ayodo. I say God bless you all, God bless Nigeria, and God bless Rock City.